Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Learning Information Technology with Teacher Stone. I ask that you subscribe to my channel and that you tell a friend to subscribe also. I ask that you like, share, and comment on this video below. In today's lesson, we're going to be creating a database. But before we get started, we have to think about what the database will be used for. A good starting point is to ask, what are the questions that the database will be used to answer? Now, it would be nice if we could list these questions, as they will help us to decide on the tables that we will need and the fields that will make up the records in each table. So we are going to look at our table structure in a database. Let's get to learning. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you so that we can do this together. When we open Microsoft Access, which is the tool that we're going to be using to create our database, this screen will appear. And so we are going to select the option Blank Database. Now, we are going to be prompted to name our database. And so we are going to name this database Employee Records. And then we're going to select Create. All right, and then now to create our table, we are going to go to the Create tab there, and then we are going to select the option that says Table. And there we have our table. Now, we are going to go to the Design view, which is the section that allows us to enter our field names and our data types. Once we click on Design view, we are going to be prompted to give our table a name. And so the name of our table is Employee Record. And then we're going to click OK. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that row. And then we're going to enter our first field name, which is Employee ID. Our second one is first name. Next, we have last name, followed by telephone number, then salary, then house number, followed by street name, and we conclude with town. So now that we have our field names, we are going to put in our data type. For employee ID, now our employee ID is made up of numbers and letters. And so we're going to select short text for that data type. We will also use short text for first name and last name. Telephone number. No, this is an important one. We have to remember the format that we're going to use to record the telephone number. So once we're going to be including those hyphens, we use short text because it is alphanumeric. So it has those characters in it that we can use. If we're not going to use any other characters, then we can go ahead and use number. Salary is a monetary value, and so we're going to select currency. House number, we're going to choose number for that. And for street name and town, we're going to go ahead and let that remain at short text. Now that we have entered all our field names and all our data types, we are going to go ahead and click on View. And we are prompted to save our table, and we're going to select Yes. And so now we have the data view of our table. This section allows us to enter the records for our employees. So let's go ahead and enter a record. All right. So we have entered the employee ID. First name is Adam. Surname and last name is Denton. And let's enter that telephone number. All right. And we're going to have to put in a salary. And a house number. And a street name. And a town. All right, awesome. So we have inserted a record in our table. All right, great. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to insert another record. So SB 4002. Serena and our last name is Brown. Let's enter another telephone number. And let's enter a salary here. House number. And a street name. Lily Drive, and let's enter a town. All right, so there you go. We have 2 records entered in our table. All right. So 2 important things to remember. The view option here gives us 2 types of views, the data sheet view and the design view. Now, the design view of our table allows us to enter our field names and the data type for each field. Once we have completed that and we have saved the data to our table, then we go to the data sheet view. The data sheet view allows us to enter the records in our table. All right. Now that we have created our table and we've added 2 records, an important thing to remember is that for each table, we must assign a primary key. Primary key is a field whose values are unique, so they can be used to identify a particular record. Let us go back to the design view of our employee record table and look at our field names: employee ID, first name, last name, telephone number, salary, house number, street name, and town. Are you able to identify a unique field name where only one individual would have that particular detail about them? If you said employee ID, you are correct. And so our employee ID has a value that is unique to each employee in this table. All right. So we're going to go ahead and click on primary key there. So we have now assigned the primary key to employee ID as it is the most unique piece of data. Let us review. So we have gone ahead and we have created a table. And in creating our table, we went to the Create tab and we selected the option Table. Having done that, we went on the Design view. The Design view allows us to enter the field names and the appropriate data type. Once that was completed, we went to the Data Sheet view. This section allowed us to enter the record for each employee. And then we assigned a primary key to our table. The primary key is a unique piece of data that could identify each record. I hope you learned something new today. In our next lesson, we will be looking at queries. Thanks for watching, and please ensure that you turn on your notification bell so that you will know when a new video has been added.